We just learned the basics of CSS animation, so I thought of making something, and this is what I mostly saw online, like asked Google what I can make as beginner. So they said a loading animation and that. So here I have this rotating loader kind of thing, and this loading dots, if you can see. So this is what I've done. It looks very simple and easy to do, but it took me quite a while to finish it. I had to Google a few things. I had problems putting the image at the center just outside the loader. So next I'll show you the code behind it. It's very simple though. This is the HTML. So you've got the div loader, which is the one that's rotating, and there's an image, which is this image. So this is all inside a div called loader wrapper. And now next is this heading, brewing your coffee. Now these three dots are span, which is again inside another span of class dots. Now we'll see the styling. So the body we've itself displayed it as flex, given everything center so that everything comes on the center. The items, font size and margin for the heading, and text align at the center. Now comes the loader wrapper, which wraps everything, the loader, div, and the image. It has been given position relative, I'll tell you why later, and a height and width and margin so that it comes at the center. Now the loader, which is the div that's rotating, has been given height and width, same as it's this loader wrapper, so that it exactly fits there. Now first we have to give it a border to change. First we have given it a border and then border top color. We only change the top color. First there's a color for a border because we first need to make a whole border, and then maybe a certain portion we can define a different color. I can't just write border top color. So I've given just a color now, but if I had kept it transparent, I think it would have looked better. I think it looks better if it was transparent. I could even make it better, this loading animation. It looks the shape. Maybe I could make a bit pointy. I don't know how to do that though. And the border radius 50% so that it goes circle. Now there's an animation given to it. So we'll look at this animation. It says animation. This is shorthand of writing animation. This is an animation name. This is animation duration, how long you want this animation to load within, like how long this animation should go on. Not go on, but play within 1.5 second. And this is animation timing function. And this one is animation iteration count, how many times you want this animation to keep going on. So we want this infinite. So that's thing. So when we call this loading animation, this is how it's been defined. First we use this keyframes keyword, and then we give any name that we want. And there's this from and to, like from what state to what state we want to change it to. So first the rotation from 0 degree to whole 360 degree. So that is one loading animation. I think that was all about the loading animation. I mean image. Now we've given the position absolute so that it will be relative to its parent. I mean it will be positioned related to its parent, which is this loader wrapper. So with relative to it, it's top 15 and left 15. It shifts. I'll show you if I do it 10 how it goes. So it goes a bit top. It was relative to the border behind it. So I myself did it like which pixels look better. That's how I shifted it and made it circle. That's it. Now about the dot span, we made it an inline block, and animation is dot blink. It will last for 1.38 seconds. Ease in out is the animation timing function, and infinite again. But this dot blink, how we've defined is at 0% it should not even appear. The opacity is 0. At 50% opacity becomes 1, and 100 again it disappears. So that's the loop. Disappears, appears, and disappears. That kind of thing. Now like dot span, there's this dot class, and inside dots there's 3 span. So we've given this dots is a class. So inside span everything's given inline block and animation. All the dots now have animation. So dots span, this is like a descendant selector or something. Nth child is the first child. The animation would be delayed by 0.2 second. The second child would be 0.4, 0.6, so that the animation first starts in the first dot and then slowly moves to the last, so that it looks like this. Not much of a code, anybody could have done it, but anyway, I didn't do it myself. I had to look a lot on the Google though.